I've heard the term open world fatigue mentioned a few times recently, particularly due to the imminent release of Horizon Zero Dawn. Are we now so saturated with massive playable areas that we've become a little lost as gamers? Are we beginning to feel the need to go back to more tightly scripted linear experiences? Well, for what it's worth, here are my thoughts. I voiced my opinions about this in a post I published at the end of 2015 called Are Open Worlds a Waste of Time? The answer to the question was not if they're done well. The problem we have is open world has become a marketing buzzword rather than a gameplay system. Developers have felt the need to shoehorn open world elements into their games to satisfy a suggested demand. Some games have suffered as a result. I'm going to look at a few games that took open environments and introduced them into games with varying results. The first we're going to look at is Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. You might say Uncharted 4 isn't open world. It's true, but it did bring open world elements into the game to enrich exploration. Naughty Dog called it broad linear. Certain areas open up to encourage the player to explore. Alternative paths gave options on how to approach different areas. The Madagascar and tropical island areas created huge, beautiful areas to lose yourself. I mean, seriously, just look at it. It's fab. At the same time, they didn't cram their open areas with unnecessary busy work. There were no quest markers, no twinkling icons, and nothing to draw you away from the narrative. In fact, no map whatsoever. These massive areas artfully moved you through the narrative, but altered the pacing of the game to allow you to appreciate it more. And this was a good mix of gameplay elements that enhanced the experience rather than interrupting them. I felt like a badass treasure hunter with a world at my feet. This was an excellent use of open areas to add to the narrative and enhance gameplay. Not distracting, not stuffed in to appeal to a demographic, but used instead to create an engaging environment. I'm very interested to see how Naughty Dog will implement this design into The Last of Us 2, because that is just gonna be awesome. Final Fantasy XV was in development hell for nearly 10 years. We're all happy when it actually turned out to be very good. I must admit my heart sank when It Will Be Open World was first mooted. But the open world is really brilliant. You could argue that the majority of Final Fantasy games have been open world. I mean, it's true to an extent. Final Fantasy 7 through 12 allowed freedom to move around the vast worlds they created. This openness wasn't the driving force of the games. What you had was a strong linear narrative with some minor distractions. Nothing that would tear you away from the story for too long, although I did stink about 40 hours into breeding a gold chocobo to get the Knights of the Nine materia. The narrative was king, and the world was just a huge sideline. Final Fantasy XV gives you a big, not huge, open world to explore with so much to do. It never felt like busy work, hunts for fun, and you got great items, XP and AP boosts. Side quests were actually interesting, and hunting down all the arms and upgrading the special weapons was never a chore. But towards the end, I was drawn out of my lovely open world into a highly linear experience to complete the story. Although this was necessary to complete the narrative, to suddenly have no option to explore was a little jarring. I mean, perhaps Naughty Dog's wide linear approach to the dying stages would have been less intrusive. I mean, still, Final Fantasy XV is a great game. And despite finishing the story, I'm still buzzing around the world, having fun. Actually, it's likely to be the very first game I platinum. A great open world, funnily enough let down in this case by poor linear gameplay. Then we have Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, the Tomb Raider reboot was an excellent game with interesting open levels and manageable collectibles. As someone who played the original on PlayStation 1, I was happy to see Laura return to form so emphatically. As a PS4 owner, I had to wait a year to get my mitts on Rise of the Tomb Raider. I did enjoy the game, but this was my first real experience of open world fatigue. The problem with Rise of the Tomb Raider is that it's a linear game trying to be open world. Rather than going to Naughty Dog's wide linear approach, they went with a Ubisoft approach. What's a Ubisoft approach? Well, you get a map and you cram it with icons to pad out the game. Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, The Division all suffered from this. A map crammed full of little icons to give an impression of content rather than a cohesive game. I mean, just look at the map right now. In that left-hand side are all the things you can collect on just this level. It was overwhelming. So Rise of the Tomb Raider filled its levels with so many collectibles that it actually became overwhelming. I did get all the collectibles in Tomb Raider, They were a manageable number and a benefit to collecting them. The sequel, however, padded maps out with unengaging rubbish that were a distraction rather than a compelling addition. I mean, I don't mind being distracted by things in games, provided the distraction adds value to my experience. It's a shame, because I did disengage with the game as a result. I mean, the story was a bit rubbish and Lara was annoying, which didn't help. But the game itself looked lovely and the mechanics were really solid. I mean, traversal, stealth and combat were excellent, and level design was exceptional. They should have left it at that, and I would have enjoyed the game more. Give me desirable, actionable content, not time-filling, irrelevant fluff. Skyrim, though, is the big daddy of open-world games, and it's a timeless classic. I played it on the original PS3 and have the special edition for PS4. The absolute pinnacle of open-ended gameplay. You can create pretty much any character you like, go anywhere you like, do anything you like, all in a vast world filled with intrigue and wonder. When I first played Skyrim, I hardly touched the main story. I didn't complete any of the faction quests. I had a max level character who had explored far and wide, slain dragons, demons, bandits by the hundred, and was satisfied with doing just that. Skyrim's linear stories are not the focus. They are the distraction. The whole point is to sink yourself into the open world and discover the game for yourself. Everyone will have a different experience and different stories to tell. Every tantalizing icon on your HUD, every overheard conversation, every corner you turn promises and delivers superb content. It never really bothered me that I didn't finish it, because the 50, 60 hours I spent with it gave me all I wanted from the game. A pure open world done right, and not a whiff of open world fatigue. The fact is that going back to it on a PS4 is a fresh and wondrous experience, and I've fallen in love with it again, even if I still haven't finished the story. So kind of in summary, I think the thing to take away from this is that what we really want is gameplay that adds to our experience rather than taking it away. Open worlds have become a trend rather than a gameplay mechanic. It has worked with some, but not with others. Open world fatigue is a good thing, as it will drive developers to revisit what open environments mean to them and to their players. If linear serves the game best, be linear. If open is best, be open. And if it's a mixture of two, embrace it, but make sure it drives the narrative and the gameplay forward. From what reviewers and internet sources have said so far, it's a balance that Horizon Zero Dawn draws very well. Apparently a strong story is complemented by an immersive open world, creating a benchmark game. I guess I'm going to find out on the 1st of March when I get my mitts on a copy, but until then I'll be riding my Chocobo into a rich sunset of open world glory. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please, you can hit the subscribe button sitting on the screen right now. Please like it, share, and as always, thanks for watching and have a great gaming week. Bye-bye for now.